So should you buy a brand new home? Or should you buy an older one? There's no single right answer here at all. Both sides have their perks, and both sides, quite frankly, they have their trade-offs also. After years, actually decades, in the Twin Cities real estate market, I've watched buyers fall in love with both, believe it or not. So today, I'm breaking down the good and the practical on both types of homes. The real comparison you want before you commit. Let's get into it. Let's start with older homes. Minneapolis and St. Paul have some of the best historic houses in the Midwest, and quite frankly, a lot of people would say in the entire country. They have craftsmen, Tudor revivals, mid-century homes with real character. That's the charm the new build cannot even come close to. But location is the real win. Those homes sit close to everything. They sit close to downtown. A lot of them are very close to lakes. The best food in the city is close to a lot of these old historic homes. The chain of lakes alone gives you miles of walking and bike trails, all inside the city, right next to many older neighborhoods. The walkability is built right into the location that you're buying. Spots like Linden Hills, parts of Longfellow, and Northeast were made for walking. You can run errands on foot. So Linden Hills, for example, scores around a 65 for walkability, and it sits right next to Lake Harriet. Then there's the trees. Mature trees change a street. You're walking into neighborhoods with homes when you're looking for older homes that are going to be 50 plus years old. And the canopy is gorgeous. You have the trees that go over the street. It gives you that tree-lined street feel that a lot of people are looking for. So that kind of canopy takes decades to develop. Believe you me, you can't rush it at all. The charm, however, goes deeper than the trees and the exterior of the home. Fancy staircases, those leaded windows that have that wavy look, floors they don't even make anymore. And then we have the laundry chutes. People love those laundry chutes, and those quirky little features, they add a level of personality and charm to those homes. Drop in the comments though, what older home features do you wish would make a comeback? So here's the last piece on older homes. These neighborhoods have a deep, proven buyer pool. Folks have always wanted to live here. That demand is steady and very real. Now, older homes, they do come with a few trade-offs. They were built in a different era. Our winters can find their weak spots in these older homes. Those spots are almost always around the insulation and how tight the home is with like air sealing with doors and windows. That gap can add up on your heating bill year after year and month after month. But hold that thought, because new construction handles this differently, and we'll come back to it in a second. But with the historic homes, there's one big thing to look for: ice dams. When attic insulation is light and the air circulation is unfortunately not there, heat escapes and melts the snow on the roof. That water freezes at the edge of the roof and can back up underneath your shingles. Then it leaks into the walls, and that's not good. So the next thing to check for, homes built before about 1950 still might have what's called knob and tube wiring. That wiring has no ground, and it wasn't built for today's electrical load. A lot of insurers or insurance companies want it replaced before they'll cover the home at all. Remember that thought too, because later, we're going to talk a little bit about some home warranties that you might be able to get, but they're not going to cover the knob and tube. Then there's the air conditioning question. Not every older home has central air. Believe it or not, a lot of these older homes have a water-based heat system where there's a boiler in the basement, and that sends hot water up to radiators that are in every single room, and those radiators heat the home. Adding central air to an entire house, it really can get pretty pricey. Always, always, always sculpt the sewer lines. There are older homes that still have sewer lines that are actually over 100 years old. A full replacement from the house to the street can run thousands of dollars. The last one that I saw that was done was about $15,000. I would truly expect anywhere between $12,000 and $25,000 to get a full sewer line replacement. Not a lining. The lining can cost about half that, as long as there's not huge voids. There's one more thing, however, that buyers forget with older homes. A lot of older homes, they have detached garages. In the winter months, plenty of buyers decide they'd rather have an attached garage. So budget for surprises and never skip the inspection. And real quick, if this is helping you think it through, do me a favor. Hit that like button and follow us. It keeps these things showing up for you, and it genuinely helps us get these videos out to people just like yourself. And we want to help you find a home that works for you. That's the most important thing to us. Let's flip the switch to new construction. Everything's brand new. It's all under warranty. There's lower maintenance early on, and no decades of older surprises behind the walls. But here's something not everyone knows. Minnesota builders build to a higher standard than most states. And that's not just because the builders are better, that's because the state has higher standards. Because our winters are real, a home here has to be built right. So our builders don't cut corners, and they can't cut corners because the governing bodies that look at the inspections for new construction and the stringent standards that there are for new construction are totally different than a lot of other states. The warranty piece is bigger than people think. Minnesota law requires what's called a 1-2-10 warranty on every single home. 1 year on workmanship, 2 years on your mechanical systems like plumbing and electrical, heating, air conditioning, and then you get 10 years on the structure of the home for structural defects in case it settles or shifts. But here's the part that most people miss. That warranty transfers to the next owner if you sell. These homes are built to current energy codes, which is also fantastic. They have tighter walls, modern HVAC, properly insulated attics. That can mean lower heating bills, and we pretty much wipe out the risk of ice dams completely. Also, zero knob and tube wiring. No old sewer lines, no questioning if it has central air. So there's none of that. You also get modern layouts, open floor plans, higher ceilings, and bigger primary suites. That all comes at a certain cost, however, which gets more important when we factor in location. But here's the part that moves the needle: builder incentives. Builders across the Twin Cities are putting real deals on the table. One builder recently advertised rates as low as 4.875% plus help with your closing costs. Across the country, builder incentives hit a 5-year high last year, with many builders trimming prices too. One tip though for you here: a lot of incentives are tied to the builder's lender. Always have your agent compare it against an outside lender. The savings can hide a higher fee somewhere else. And one last thing before we look at the trade-offs. A new build in Maple Grove, Woodbury, or Lakeville isn't automatically a downside. If you work in the suburbs or if you work from home, it really doesn't matter. These are real communities with real people. So new construction, what to check? There's a flip side to everything, of course. Most new construction sits in the outer ring suburbs: Maple Grove, Woodbury, Lakeville. That's roughly 15 to 25 minutes from downtown. So you'll want to think about that daily drive. The quality of the build can vary additionally builder to builder, even inside the same suburb. So being specific about your builder really matters. Now the next part is critical: the hidden costs. The base price isn't the full price. You have additional things like landscaping, a deck, blinds, window coverings. These all add up really fast. All of a sudden, it's $30,000, $40,000, even $50,000 more than that initial price tag. But here's the kicker: you don't always get that money back dollar for dollar. Spend $50,000 and unfortunately, you might add only $25,000 of value to the house. So you get back about 50 cents on the dollar. There's a resale timing thing too. Sell in the first 2 to 3 years of ownership, and guess what? If you're in a development that has just started when you bought, you're going to be competing against the builder, and you're not going to be able to advertise that interest rate that the builder has. If they still have new inventory and they still have incentives, that's going to be a tough spot to sell from. And the character is still growing in these areas. You're not going to have the mature trees. You're not going to have that settled infill. Those take a few years, if not a couple decades. I'll help you decide on this in a minute, however. So here's the question that nobody asks. How do you really feel about your daily drive, especially in winter months? Think about that for a second. Older homes in Linden Hills or Northeast means a short trip to everything. A new build in Lakeville or Maple Grove means more time in the car. Lakeville to downtown is about 25 miles or roughly 30 minutes when traffic is pretty light. Add rush hour or fresh snow, and that drive can stretch closer to 45 minutes each way. That trade-off, it's pretty real, and it's daily. It's the kind of thing that is easy to underestimate. So here's my advice. Test the drive at real commute times on a real winter morning, if at all possible, before you commit to buying the home. Now that you've seen both sides, how do you decide which is best for you? Do you want character and walkability and a spot close to the city? Older homes in many cases win. Do you want energy savings, low early upkeep costs, and those builder deals and incentives? New construction can be the winner then. Then think about your time. Selling in 3 years? Lean towards an older resale home. You won't be competing with the builder at the exit. Staying 3 to 5 years or more, new construction can make a lot of sense. The community has time to grow up with you and your home. Either way, do these things. Get a full inspection, get a feel for the drive, ask about the electrical and the AC and hidden costs. Know exactly what you're buying before you sign on that dotted line. At the end of the day, the right home is the one that fits your style. You've got the full picture now. Most buyers, they don't. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you team older home per se, or are you team new construction? Drop it in the comments that are right down below and tell us why. And if you found this helpful, hit that like button and smash that follow button so you don't miss out on our next video. When you are ready, my team and I would love to help you weigh your options, so reach out in the link in the description that's right down below. And before you go, check out the video right here where we answer real questions about living in Minneapolis. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video and at the next house.